So for this tutorial, I want to go over how to use stage tiers. So to start with, you're going to want to go to Stage, View Stage List. From here, you can see all your displays as well as your tiers. So this little folder thingy is a tier, and they're essentially just groups of displays. So you're going to want to probably rename that to something like Tier 1. And I'll just create four for and one for each display. And then you're going to want to just move your displays into the appropriate tier. So one of the most useful uses of stage tiers is the positioning of media in your stage. So let's say you wanted to put your content down into your stage on display 4. So normally without tiers, this is the behavior you would have right here. So you drop it down, it would show up on display 1. And then you'd have to drag it over and depending on like what you've sometimes it doesn't snap totally appropriately. Um, so that's really not the most efficient way of doing it. So what you're going to want to do is just select your tier 4 and then drop in your media and it'll snap right there. So there's no dragging necessary because dragging and trying to line it up, even with snapping on, really not that efficient. Another nice use case for stage tiers is restricting certain layers to only certain displays. So let's say, so right here, this piece of media, you never ever want to see that on any other display. And if it's over on another display, it's absolutely a mistake. So you should just stop it entirely. What you could do is take layer 4, double click on it, and under stage tiers, you can hit restrict to rendering of stage tiers. And if you have it on tier 1, if you have this set to tier 1, whatever you put on this layer, it's not going to show it's not going to show anywhere else. So like if you move this media over here, this media is only going to be shown even though it's over these displays. The display machine is only going to show it on this display 1. So that's really nice for when you're scaling things and you never want it to do that. I mean, otherwise you're going to have to crop and limit, what can actually be shown using a crop, and that's pretty inefficient. An additional thing you could actually do is you could just disable a layer altogether by double clicking here, going to stage tier, restrict stage tier, and then deselect everything, and this won't show up at all. It will not show up, which is pretty awesome. So another use case for stage tiers is to disable edge blending, disable the default edge blending on displays. So normally when you have overlapping displays, Watchout will try to blend the displays, and a lot of times it will just look really weird unless it was purposeful. So one situation where this is going to come in handy is if you're trying to do a primary and backup system. Um, you can put one display on one tier and the other display on another tier and just have them in the same spot, and this will work fine. It won't blend. I don't have a display machine to show here, but take my word for it. If you're trying to do a backup in primary, definitely do two tiers and put them on top of each other on separate tiers, and it'll be fine. Another situation where the blending can come in is if you're trying to actually overlap displays, but you don't actually want them to blend, you do the same kind of thing. You would have to, if you didn't want any of these to blend, you would have to create an additional tier and then put that in there. So then these two won't blend together. Okay, that's it. Can't really think of any other use cases for stage tiers. They're very powerful, especially with the edge blending, but as I had shown in my previous tutorial, you can also disable edge blending inside of the display. Here, you can disable use default soft edges. So it'll do the same thing, and that is actually a little easier in my opinion. So that's up to you, but that's pretty much it.